Welcome. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Deb, coming from the sunny Gold Coast of Australia. Really looking forward to this evening's show, or depending on where you're at, it could be this morning's show. Really looking forward to working with, we're going to take a caller, as always, and see what we can do for them, what spirit can do for our caller. And then we're going to do what I said we would do last week, which we ran out of time for, which is talk about the Akashic or Akashic records. So while we get ready for our caller, I thought I would explain a little bit about the Akashic or Akashic records. So they are, or used to be more commonly referred to back in the day, the book of life. And every single thing that has ever occurred on this planet is recorded in it. So all of our thoughts, our deeds, every situation, every circumstance, and it's not just for people, it's for land, buildings, property as well. Uh, there's so much information we can mine and collect to help people with their life through the Akashic records. Edgar Casey was a very famous reader who was able to help people with their health, understanding what had occurred in previous lives and how they impacted people health wise. And these days, we tend to use them. I use them to help people understand their soul blueprint, which means what is it that comes naturally to their soul? What are the amazing things that they have accomplished previously? And they're usually very inspiring readings. Sometimes I know one of my earliest clients, when I was doing these a few years back, was really at a dead end. She was stuck. She'd had an accident 3 years prior. She'd severely injured her back, couldn't go back to her line of work, and didn't really think she had the education to do much. And after learning about 2 lifetimes where she had been a very impressive business person in the past, she turned around everything. And she now owns 3 successful businesses. So, what she needed to understand were what her skills were, her core skills, instead of being in the illusion of her limits in this lifetime. There are so many other things that we can do for those records, for those clients as well through the Akashic records. And I'll talk a little bit more about that coming up, including giving you some example cases that were just absolutely astounding to myself and to my clients. And they'll give you a little bit of an idea of how you could use these readings. But also, if you yourself are a psychic or a budding psychic or intuitive or medium, how you can also learn to do these readings to help your clients too. So we have Debbie in Layton, Utah. Ready? Are you there, Debbie?
Yes, I am.
Hi, how has your day been going?
My day's been great. How about yours?
Really, really well. Thanks so much. Now, would you prefer a psychic reading all about yourself and your present day and future coming up, or a mediumship reading to hear from somebody who's passed over?
Um, I'm interested in love and future, but I'm open to anything.
Okay, beautiful. Sometimes our loved ones step in and actually help with these readings. So we'll see what happens. So I'm just tapping
Okay.
into your energy now, getting my team to connect. They're talking to me about a very busy household. Do you have a big family or a really busy household?
Kind of a big family.
It is a big family?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's what I was feeling. I was feeling like there's a lot that goes on around you. Okay. Um, let's just see what they want to talk about. Now, has your father-in-law passed?
Father-in-law.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not married right now. I'm recently divorced, but he had. Yes.
Your ex-father-in-law. Okay. All righty.
Yes.
Um, he says that he still holds you in really good stead, meaning he is a big supporter of yours, and he himself says he was sorry to see what happened there. And he hopes that it doesn't tarnish your memory of him. Does that make any sense?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Yeah. Um, let's just see if there's anything else, because I know I wanted to connect with you and what's happening. So let's see if that's what he's here for. So, sir, is there something that um, he says you have some very big dramatic changes coming up and all for the best. Um,
Okay.
there's a change in housing and work. So were you considering going back to a career?
No. No, that's not
Okay.
familiar.
He shows me the reason I ask is he shows me like a large building with a big parking lot around it. So I thought that might have been linked to career. So let me ask him for more detail of what he's
Okay.
talking about. Um, okay. So you just started seeing somebody, or you're just opening up to seeing somebody?
Mm, working up to it.
Yeah, because he's trying to say there's going to be a wonderful relationship coming for you. Um, now, he says 1, 2, 3, so 3 months. 3 months, and he
Okay.
sees that you're going to start having your first tentative like steps in getting back there into that type of world, accepting offers for, coffee and things like that, or uh, get-togethers. And he said it won't take long. He said, really, the first 3 months will be about you getting your confidence back to be exactly who you are, and that you yourself are absolutely wonderful. He just says it will be the first 3 months, getting used to it, taking it very slowly. And within 6 to 9 months, he calls it landing the big fish. He says, this will be a relationship like no other. It will start slowly, but the way that it blossoms, he says it will just continue to blossom. And it's something that you've deserved for a long time, to be really treated as the woman that you are, to be understood and valued, because I feel like you were undervalued. Does that make any sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. And he's saying that this person that's coming will, it's not about whining and dining. It's about being there and walking through life together and not being, I don't know why he said this to me twice, not being accused of nagging, not being, um, not being misunderstood when you're really just trying to help get things done for people. And
Mhm.
I feel like for a long time, you just weren't seen for who you were and what you were trying to achieve on behalf of everybody. Does this make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. And so he's saying, long overdue, this relationship, this new relationship, long overdue. He wants you to know it will move very slowly. Um, he said it's like being a little bit gun shy, being a little bit, not sure if I want to get roped into something straight away, but it sure would be nice to be appreciated and have somebody to, you know, go and do things with once in a while. And he said that's how it will play out. It will start very slowly, and this person will really allow you to take your time. They'll go at your pace. They'll have a very good understanding of what you've been through and kind of give you space to navigate things your way. And you may pull back. He said, you may pull back from this person once or twice because it'll feel quite, as it unfolds, it'll feel like, wow, I really am getting into something serious going down the road 6 months or so. And he said, this person would wait for you forever. So take it as slowly as you need to. I'm going to come back around to, then I'm going to go back again and I'm going to ask him for more details about this person. However, I want
Okay,
to
yeah.
circle back to this big building that he showed me. Okay. There's going to be a transfer on the cards for this person. And it's going to be a big decision, but they won't make it without you. And that's the big change for the 1 year. When you hit the 1 year from now mark, if the transfer isn't taken, it's still a step up. It's still a change for this new person in your life, which is for the better. They don't have to take it, right? But the transfer would give them and you an amazing opportunity. And he says it doesn't matter about the big family. He takes all of this into account and on board. He just wanted you to know that there are absolutely wonderful things coming your way.
Okay. Am I familiar with this person? I'm sorry.
Does she know him now? Does she know him now? Not at this point, no.
No?
No, it's going to be a very natural meeting. A very natural meeting.
Okay. Okay.
It feels like one of those things where sorry, just a producer typing for me. I know we're just 15 minutes into a 30-minute show, and he's giving me a nudge. Okay, so, oh, okay, got it. I got it. We're all good now. Okay, so no, you don't know them. Very natural meeting. And the sign they show me, it doesn't mean it's going to happen this way, but the symbol that they show me for a natural meeting where you just bump into somebody is where you're like at a school and you're chatting to other parents or you're chatting to other people and you just happen to strike up a conversation. So it doesn't mean that it'll be out of school, but they're saying it's going to happen naturally. So you don't have to go out and sign up for a whole bunch of dating apps or do anything that feels unnatural to you. It will all feel very natural, but you probably will look into how to start dating within the next 3 months if you haven't already. And then he said, it's all practice. It's all practice, but the practice is not anything other than getting relaxed into being yourself so that when you meet this right person, he'll know who you are immediately because you will be yourself. Okay, let's go back to double back. If you can tell me, sir, what is this man going to? Ambitious in his own way, but this isn't about money. This is, yes, he will be doing very well financially. No concerns there. But they show me that he really enjoys sport and that he's raised his own family and he's been there to be the coach of the teams. And they just show me that he's got a lot of energy and he's really shown his commitment. And that will be a great clue for you that this person, when he puts his heart into something, it's all the way. He commits and he doesn't let people down. So he will have a wonderful relationship with his family. I'm trying to find out about the partner, so bear with me for one moment.
Okay.
The partner is not somebody who stuck around, but it was for their own reasons. It honestly feels like the partner had a midlife or later in life change. It had nothing to do with this person. and for their own reasons separated.
Mhm.
Leaving the area. That's one thing that's really clear. They've left the area. And so I think your father-in-law, ex-father-in-law wanted you to know that there wouldn't be any complicating factors with this person.
There will not.
There will not, because the
Okay.
person in question has left the area, begun a new life, and really is sort of that once a year or twice a year visitor back to see the family. They're not going to be any type of trouble. So it'll be very uncomplicated for you.
Okay.
Okay. Did you have any specific questions? We just kind of let him tell you.
Mm-hmm.
He was really excited about these good things coming up. But if you have any specific questions, we can get to that too.
I'm trying to think. What? I have a couple of ex-father-in-laws, so I'm trying to determine which one it is.
Have you been married 3 times?
Yeah.
Okay. And did your third father-in-law, the latest one, as he passed over?
Yeah.
That's him. He's saying third father-in-law.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you? He says he's changed a lot. You still there, Debbie? Not sure if we've lost her or not. Are you still there, Debbie?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, you're still there. Okay. He says he's
I'm still
changed
here.
quite a bit. So were you surprised it was him?
Yes.
Okay. I'll tell you a little quick story about it. It'll take 30 seconds. My own father and I
Okay.
were not very close in life. He was a nice man, but we just were oil and water. He was an engineer and very logic focused, and of course, I'm very feelings and intuitively focused. So while we were respectful of one another, we weren't close. It was kind of like when we spoke on the phone, he'd go, "Hello," and "I'm fine. Hope you're fine. Here's your mother." When he passed over, he completely changed. And he is one of my biggest supporters from the other side. He's made some magical, amazing things happen for me. And he helps me when I'm teaching classes. He comes through for my students so that they can he can speak to them. They know that way that they're medium. So I just wanted to let you know, he's saying, your father-in-law is saying he's changed quite a lot. And he really just has your best interest at heart.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Did you have any more questions? We've got 1 minute left.
None that I can think of.
None that you can think of. He's excited. He's saying this is looking really, really positive, and it's 6 to 9 months away before you know that you're with the right one. But 3 months of working yourself up to really getting out there into the world, and then a few months to get comfortable with being in other people's company for dates and catch ups and things like that. And then it's all going to come together.
Okay, good. Does he know what color hair he has?
He's showing me dark hair.
Dark hair. Okay.
Dark hair.
All right.
Yeah. He's not a bad looking man at all. He might have packed on a few pounds, but I don't mean big. I just mean good physique, good build, but
Mm-hmm.
is always working on getting the little tummy down. I know I've got a little tummy myself, so I can relate.
Me
But he's a
too.
good looking man. Good looking
Okay.
man. So
Thank you.
thank you so
Okay.
much,
Thank you.
Debbie. And after you've met him, I'd love it if you'd come back on and let us know.
Okay. I will. Thank
All
you
the
so
very
much.
best. You take care now.
You too. Bye.
Thanks. Okay, so we were going to talk a little bit today about the Akashic or the Akashic records. Um, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, this is the record of everything. So each of us has a file, and I'll explain the way this works for those who aren't familiar with reincarnation. Um, in my experience, we've lived thousands of lifetimes before. That's why when we see child prodigies and things, and people go, how in the world did they come in knowing how to play the piano like that? Or how in the world can a 5 year old do maths at the level of a university student? We've usually lived thousands of lifetimes before. And that's been, again, my experience in doing readings for people. So, what happens to all those lifetimes? Well, we create a new persona in every lifetime. Now, for those of you who have memories of being a child and making decisions about what you liked and what you didn't like, you were in the process of creating your persona, your personality, who you are in this lifetime. And that's the great thing about reincarnation. We can choose whatever we'd like. When we come back, we can create again. So those personas don't disappear. They go into what we call our higher self. And they are just stacked one after the other, after the other, after the other. And those personas, I guess it's like having storage space in your attic. We have an attic. And this is all of the previous lifetimes that we have experienced. So when somebody like myself goes in and reads your Akashic or Akashic records, I personally will pull out 2 lifetimes and I ask the record keepers to make them completely relevant to your existing current lifetime so that it will be helpful to you in some way. It's not just story time, fairy tales. It's things about yourself that will be very important and helpful for you to know now. I'll give you an example. This is one of my favorites. I had an adult student. All of my students, well, majority of them are adults who want to learn to do these things, become psychics and mediums and healers and Akashic record readers, etc. And I had this one woman, and she was very quiet. She was gifted, but very, very quiet compared to her classmates. And she said to me, would it be okay if I brought my daughter in? She's 17. And I said, as long as the parent, the adult, is there, that's absolutely fine. She said she wants an Akashic Records reading. Sure. She came in, told her about one lifetime where she was in, of all places, of course, I'm here in Australia now, but this lifetime was in Berkeley. It started that this young lady in a previous lifetime in the 1960s was in Berkeley, California, going to university, going to school there, and was also a musician. She was a male in that lifetime. And as that musician, she was working her way through, well, he in that lifetime was working his way through college and getting a bit of extra spending money. So they were offered a contract because folk music, folk musicians, it was all the rage back then. And they turned down the contract, the recording contract, and everybody thought they were a bit crazy for turning down a recording contract. They really wanted to be, he wanted to be in that lifetime, an aerospace engineer. Turned out that they completed the university studies and did become an engineer, but worked for, give you an example. I'm not going to say the exact company name, but there are some companies that make big jumbo airliners, etc. So it didn't end up working on the space programs, but still some pretty impressive work that this person got to do in that lifetime. The second lifetime that I read for them went way back to the late 1800s, and there were some advances happening in science and medicine. And this person worked during that time, but they were also the church musician, whether it was organ or piano at the time, and choir leader. So they were very involved in music in that lifetime as well. Now, the whole time I was reading, the mother didn't say a word and the daughter didn't say a word. And these are long readings because each lifetime I spend about an hour describing them in full detail, including family members who might be family members or friends now. There's a lot that happens in these readings. So 2.5 hours of silence from these two. And I was getting a bit, oh, what if this doesn't mean anything to her? And when I finished and I said, what does this make sense to you? Because they're telling me that you have some decisions to make right now. And she said, yes, I am trying to decide on my major at university. And I was trying to decide between engineering and music. And she said, so you just helped me make my decision. I will do a double major, because she'd always put science, engineering, etc. first, and sort of relegated her love and passion for music to second. And she said, not anymore. This time I'm going to use all of the gifts that I have. So that's an example of how I have no idea how these readings are going to help people. But when I open these records, it seems to always be relevant to the person and usually helps them to make some pretty major life decisions or make some changes in directions to align more closely with who they really are at heart and what their soul gifts and talents are. So, if you would like one of those readings yourself, they are on sale until the 1st of September. So a couple of more days for our viewers who are in the Northern Hemisphere. And you can find those readings at www.deb.bullions, which is my surname, bullions.com.au. And again, they're on sale right now. And if you would like to learn to read the Akashic Records yourself, then you can find me at www.spiritquestschool.org, O-R-G, which is short for organization. So you can receive a reading, you can learn to read, completely up to you. Now, we are closing enrollments off for that today. If you would like to learn to read those records, the enrollments close today. And this is all set up for the US time frames. Anyhow, it has been a delight to be with you this week, and I look forward to seeing you and being with you next week.